All right, welcome back, everyone. It is now time for Showbiz Theater, and we will be focusing on a movie. Of course, we have our expert, Jason, in the studio.
Hey, how's it going, Adrian?
What's up, Jason?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm fine, actually. Very excited. We'll be talking about actually a very highly anticipated movie for this year today.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Bong Joon-ho's long-awaited Snowpiercer.
That's right.
Which has been on the pipeline, or in the pipeline, I should say, for a long, long time.
And it's Bong Joon-ho's first overseas global production, too.
Yeah, it's his first kind of global production. It is a Korean movie, as we'll discuss a little bit later, in terms of the way the film was financed. But the cast and the crew come from all corners of the globe, and so in that sense it is a global production. And of course we had Kim Ji-yoon and Park Chan-wook making their kind of English debuts earlier this year.
Okay.
So yeah, it's an interesting movie to compare to those as well.
So today we'll basically be giving our viewers a lot of details about this production, so please give it away. What movie and who, how, please?
Yeah, let's talk about Bong Joon-ho's long-awaited Snowpiercer.
You're still determined to push ahead.
When a global warming solution backfires, the Earth is enveloped in a new ice age, which almost annihilates the human race. The few thousand survivors live aboard a lone train that perpetually circumnavigates the otherwise dead planet. The tail of the train is inhabited by low-class citizens. Each day they are subjected to humiliating atrocities, and at their wits' end, a revolt finally erupts.
Expertise in the prison section now.
The train has not stopped for 17 years, and Curtis, a young leader at the tail of the train, prepares a well-prepared riot. The riders in the back of the revolt, attempting to seize control of the train, which the elites in the front consider sacred.
Let me go ahead.
All right, Snowpiercer. I think you are quite happy about this movie. We actually went together to the premiere, and I was also happily surprised, to be honest. Now let's talk a little bit about the storyline. What is it about? It's about a train that travels and circles the Earth.
Yeah, it's based on a French graphic novel. Maybe you can help me here with the pronunciation.
Yeah, try it.
Le Transpionnage.
Not too bad. Le Transpersonnage, which means the Snowpiercer,
right?
Referring to the name of the train.
Right, and so it takes place on a train that circles the globe. It has a very interesting engine. It never runs out of steam. And basically what happens is that an experiment to reduce global warming fails. And so the Earth enters a new ice age.
Ice age, everyone's dead except the people on the train.
Yeah, although I think there is an animation out as well that kind of is a bit of a prequel to the film, which suggests that there was a big battle to try and get on the train. So those that actually made it onto the train were quite lucky, but then in the train itself they are divided by class.
Competition, conflicts.
Exactly, so the back of the train or the rear of the train you have the lower classes, while at the front of the train you have the upper class or the elite.
Yes.
And so the lower classes are subjected to very kind of poor,
harsh conditions,
and so they're naturally fed up with the way they're being treated. And so what they do is they kind of form a revolutionary group to try and take control of the train. So they try and go up the train. It's a very long train. They try and go up it, take control of the engine. They take control of the engine, then they take control of the train. And so it's basically a kind of a social revolution within a train. And so it's a very interesting concept. And I can see why Bong Joon-ho liked this concept and made this film.
That's right. Now the train is not a small train. It's actually quite long, 1.5 kilometers. You have different wagons all along. And each section on the train is clearly divided. So you have the poor people at the tail, then you have the haves at the front.
Yeah, the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
And so as you go through the train, you slowly realize that there is a very different kind of different compartments for each class. At the front of the train, there's kind of an academy or a school, and then there's a kind of a very nice restaurant.
Yeah.
There's even a kind of a greenhouse, a nightclub. Whereas in the back of the train, they're all very kind of crowded, cramped.
It's very dark at the back of the train.
It's very cramped, and they don't get to eat nice food and that kind of thing.
Sounds good. Now, I was also very surprised about the acting. We have some fantastic actors in this movie, also some top-notch foreign actors, and we'll talk a little bit about that. All right, now, Jason, in this movie, we basically have an A-list cast. We have actors from 3 different continents. Give us some more details and give us some names, too.
Yeah, reflecting the kind of global nature of the graphic novel or the film. And basically you have 3 different continents of actors here. You have actors from the UK, Tilda Swinton, John Hurt, Jamie Bell, Ewan Bremer. Then from the States you have Chris Evans and Octavia Spencer. And then from Korea we have Song Kang-ho and Ko Ah-sung. And so you have a very interesting mix of actors. And I think the fact that Bong Joon-ho has managed to attract this talent, I think is a testament to his reputation. Both Tilda Swinton and Chris Evans, for example, they've been talking about how they love Bong Joon-ho's films, and I think the cast here is absolutely terrific.
Yeah, great acting. I was also very, very surprised. Perfection when it comes to the roles and the characters.
Right, and what's also interesting is, given the amount of talent, I think there was a danger that it would be very difficult to kind of manage that.
Control
it, you know, sometimes you have a few egos and they want more screen space and whatnot. But Bong Joon-ho has managed to script them in very, very carefully with equal kind of screen time, and they have chemistry, and it's terrific.
And for the Korean actors, so we have Ko Ah-sung.
Right, and Song Kang-ho.
And Song Kang-ho, and they play this father-daughter relationship. It's not the first time, because in the movie The Host, which was released I think about 6 years ago, they also played a father-daughter relationship.
Yeah, it's a reunion, so to speak. Like you say, in The Host, they played a father and daughter relationship, although the characters are very different. Ko Ah-sung is obviously now a lot older. She's kind of 17 or 18 years old, I think.
She speaks English in the movie.
She speaks English as well. And
Song Kang-ho doesn't.
Song Kang-ho, he doesn't speak English, but he has a kind of a translating machine which allows him to translate, allows the machine to translate what he's saying. And
it's funny. I mean, that basically sparks some very funny scenes too with that translator.
Yeah, and I think it's a wise decision to do that, because I think sometimes if you get Korean actors to speak English when they're not feeling comfortable, it just doesn't come out right. And he's been very smartly chosen, which allows it to get more profile here in Korea. So it's a smartly chosen cast.
Yeah, and I think the Korean viewers are going to love it too.
Oh yeah, you know, you got these 2 actors that were in The Host that went on to make 30 million emissions. And there's a reunion, so to speak, but at the same time they're very different characters, their relationship's very different. And so it's very interesting in that regard.
Great. All right, now in this movie, Snowpiercer, we actually have a global cast. So most of the scenes are in English, of course.
Right.
Except the ones where Song Kang-ho actually shows up, and then he speaks in Korean.
Yeah, he speaks in Korean, and like we said earlier, he has a kind of machine that allows other people to understand what he's saying. There's also a lot of dialogue between him and Ko Ah-sung, where they speak Korean. And his character is very interesting. He plays a kind of the go-to guy to unlock doors between the carriages. Yeah, he's an expert in unlocking doors, and he also has a kind of a drug addiction as well. And so
every time he opens a door, they give him some of his drug.
Exactly, and to him and his daughter as well.
Now, regarding the English, you know, we have this international cast. They speak in English. What can you tell us about their roles and maybe their accents?
Yeah, it's really interesting with regards to Tilda Swinton. I met Bong Joon-ho earlier this year, and he told me in an interview that Tilda Swinton actually suggested to Bong Joon-ho.
She herself.
Yeah, that doesn't my character have a different accent? And so she said, what about Yorkshire or Welsh accent? And so she taught Bong Joon-ho the kind of the different dialects in the UK, and
he was okay with it.
Yeah, he was very happy with it, and I can see why. I think that accent adds an extra dimension to
more
a character.
spice.
Yeah, good.
And you were quite happy too because you're from the UK.
Yeah, I love different British accents, and Yorkshire accent is just it's a very attractive accent in my opinion. And I was a little bit concerned that maybe it won't be very audible, so people can't hear it properly. But
it was perfectly fine for me.
Exactly. So I was very happy to hear that it was very clear, but at the same time very distinct.
Yeah. Now, we talked a little bit about the actors. We briefly mentioned the storyline. I think our viewers might want to learn more about the director himself, Bong Joon-ho. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, now, Jason, when it comes to the international media, I think they've been quite happy about this movie, and many articles were produced praising this production.
Yes, that's right. They were excited even before the film was released, and then once the film was released, they were unanimous in their praise. Particularly from the trades, trade magazines, they basically write reviews in terms of how the film will perform, and they look at it from a kind of business perspective. But they do look at the film's quality as well. I write for one of those, and
what did you say?
I said it was an enthralling ride that never runs out of momentum, and reflective of Bong's talent as one of Korea's most consistent directors.
In terms of management as well.
Yeah, I mean, just in the overall quality, but Bong Joon-ho, what my point was, is Bong Joon-ho has an incredible ability, or his masterstroke, is to make films incredibly complex, but also enjoyable. And so he's able to find a whole wide range of demographic audiences. And so that's what I like about him. And that, from a producer's perspective, that's a very profitable kind of prospect, and the fact that the film has been sold to 167 territories is reflective of his talent as a director.
That's right. High expectations, I guess, for everyone around the world. Now, we won't tell our viewers too much now. We've already said enough, I think. We'll stay hush-hush. It's already airing here in Korea, so we'll let them find out when it hits their countries. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
And when we come back next week, we're going to focus on another movie.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about The Terror Live, which is released the same day as Snowpiercer, but we can't talk about two films at the same time. So we're going to be
starring Ha Jung-woo.
Yeah, Ha Jung-woo, which has also received good press. A lot of people saying good things about it.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Jason, for coming in today.
No problem.
And we'll have another edition of Showbiz Theater prepared for you next week again. Thank you very much.
Bye.